If you guys want to participate live with me while I'm making these videos, we're going about it differently this year, man. We are recording live, man. Say hello to the chat. But hey, man, in all seriousness, love to have you guys along for the streams. We're trying to do them every day. It's not going to be every day, but we're going to be on here pretty much damn near every day, man. So if you guys want to be a part of that, come along for the ride, man. And make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content we making. And you know what? Go check out the music while you at it, man. It's all right down there on the Mugen Sharp channel, man. Let's get into the video. We got a video here by Jimmy High Roller. We are witnessing the worst pro sports team of all time, bro. The Detroit Pistons have been down bad this season. Draymond Green had more ejections than they had wins for a good stretch of the season. I didn't get on the bandwagon while this was happening. I was waiting to see how bad it got, bro. It got bad. They literally set the record for the worst basketball I've ever seen in my life. In history. In the NBA. That's an insane record to set, bro. But let's see what our man Jimmy High Roller has to say about it. He's always got some bangers, man. Let's see what he got for us. Cade and the Kobe's.
You see this? This is what a losing team looks like. But not just the losing team of this particular game, but a team that has lost more consecutive games than any team ever has. In every single season in the history of pro sports in North America. The Pistons are really bad, but they're not just bad relative to this season. They're not even just bad for an NBA team. They are possibly the worst North American pro sports team ever.
One thing that I gotta say while we're here, why is Monty Williams a part of this, bro? How does this man constantly end up being on some of the worst lopsided beatings in history, bro? He helped orchestrate the disaster in Phoenix, man. Just how he helped us get the miracle with Ayton on that lob the season before. We went out bad, the worst we have ever gone out in a playoff situation ever. I was actually watching that game live. I hadn't watched any of the playoff run up to that point because it was kind of one of those things where it was like okay, yeah, they're going to make it. They're going to make it to at least the Western Conference Finals. Then I'll start watching. You know what I'm saying? Then we can start getting in, which is kind of honestly L fan, if I'm being honest. I'll take credit for that. But listen, bro, I really expected us to be that good based off what we had already seen. We already did it once. Do it again. That was how it was in my head. Because that first time, I was in bars watching with the homies. We were going every single game. Anytime we could get any sort of, the closest we could get to the action with as many other Phoenix fans as possible, we would do it, bro. Because it was a literal miracle we were in that situation. We were not supposed to be there. After that season, the expectation had been set. At that point, Phoenix is a powerhouse, bro. We made it to the finals. We already got there. Scuffed a lead, which was really just a precursor for what was about to happen. Scuffed that lead. But hey, man, it is what it is. And Monty Williams, again, was a huge part of that. His relationship with DeAndre Ayton. I remember I was watching with my dad screaming, why the fuck is Bismack Biyombo in this game right now, bro? I've been seeing too much Bismack Biyombo. He been in the game way too long. Where is DeAndre Ayton? Is he injured? These were questions I was asking live. I was conscious of this as a fan of the game while it was happening live. Do you realize how crazy that is? That you got someone at home on their TV just cheese the subscription trial to watch this game asking these questions while you getting bitched by Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the whole setup to that game was truly an abomination of basketball history. Who was involved? Monty Williams. Now, we got the Detroit Pistons. His very next landing spot as a coach. An abomination. Worst season in NBA history. This is not a coincidence, bro. I'm just saying. I have my own grievances with the Suns this season that we will talk about at some point. Being a Phoenix native, born and raised, I have to weigh in, okay? We will get to that. But today, I'm on Monty Williams' ass, bro. What are you doing, man? Does this man need to be coaching professional sports? I don't know, bro. You be the judge. Let's see what Jimmy has to say, man. Maybe he's the judge. Look at Cade, bro. He is down bad. They got the Shia LaBeouf fit on, bro. Oh, my God, bro. I bet Detroit is out of their mind with how bad this is. That city got enough issues, bro. Why is basketball one of them?
And basketball in full swing. Save yourself the time and hassle of looking for good tickets and killer deals with SeatGeek. With over the look at their rate deal.
Get your money, Jimmy. We like that out of you, bro. Get your money. But I'm not watching.
How bad does a team need to be in order to be the worst team? Like, ever. In North America, professional sports have been around for over a century, starting with the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs in 1876, followed by the American League of Professional Baseball in 1901, forming the MLB in 1903. 14 years later, the National Hockey League was established in 1917, and then came the NFL, formerly known as the American Professional Football Association, 3 years later in 1920.
This is such an L. He's even bringing up other sports. That's how you know this is tragic. This is literal tragedy, bro. Shakespeare couldn't have wrote this. This is insane.
The fourth and final major sport didn't come about until 1946, when the Basketball Association of America was founded, known today as the NBA. And over the last 148 years, these four leagues have expanded and grown to now include 124 teams across 2 countries. 124 teams, nearly 150 years of history, thousands of individual team seasons. And yet, throughout all of this, one team has to inevitably be the worst one. And that team is playing right now in Detroit. What the Pistons have managed to do so far this season is
insane
bad.
word.
Their incompetence is a statistical anomaly. At the moment, the Pistons are on a 28-game losing streak. 28 games, 28 losses.
123-91 to the Magic. Nigga, they are rebuilding just like you are. And they making you look like little bro like that. That is insane. So 124-92. Oh my God, they're not even hitting 100. In this era of basketball, they're not even hitting 100 points. This is insane work, bro.
Browns back in 2016 and 2017, just how bad they were. Well, they lost 17 games in a row across 2 seasons. They were horrendous for 2 full seasons. But their losing streak is only the 62nd longest in North American pro sports history. To find this year's Pistons, you have to take a nosedive through 150 years of sports. Some of the worst teams imaginable. Then keep going, and then go
Bean Eaters
reached rock bottom with the 2nd longest losing streak in pro sports. The only team that strung together more consecutive losses were the mid-1940s Chicago Cardinals of the NFL, whose
Why is it always Phoenix, bro? Why is it always Phoenix? I know they might not have been playing here at the time. That's a Phoenix franchise, bro. We got that all over Phoenix. In Walmart with the jerseys, all of it, bro. It's always something in Phoenix, bro. Why are we so down bad? We cannot catch a break in pro sports, bro. I swear the WNBA and the Arizona Rattlers stole all of our good luck to win championships. I feel like each city can only get so many, right? So all these other teams taking them when they're real sports, we need them for our real sports. I know the WNBA, all that, yada, yada. Bro, I want the Suns to win a chip. Diana Taurasi, cool, bro, but I don't care about that. I'm not rocking no Taurasi ones. I want D-Book to win. I want the Phoenix Suns to win. The only team we've had with any moderate success in this city is the Diamondbacks. I don't watch baseball, bro. Do you watch baseball? That was a rhetorical question. You watching this video. It's so sad that we are like this. I hate it here.
Just losing a whole bunch of games in a row. To put some perspective on just how bad the Pistons are, the San Jose Sharks are the worst team in the NHL this season. In fact, they're on pace to being one of the worst teams in recent history, and they have a win percentage of 27.2%. The Pistons would need to go on a 9-game winning streak starting with their next game just to catch up to how bad the Sharks have been this season. But it gets even worse. The Panthers have been the worst team in the NFL this season, winning just 2 of their 15 games. Their win percentage is just 13.3%, which means right now, the Pistons are relatively half as good as the worst team in the National Football League. But, my friends, it gets even worse. Because over in the MLB, there's one
The graphs are
as the
incriminating.
worst team in the league, and that is the Oakland A's. The A's played so bad last season that it literally cost the city of Oakland their baseball team. And still, the A's finished the 2023 season with a winning percentage of 30.9% and a record of 50-112.
Hey, you know what? We might be down bad in Phoenix. At least we ain't Oakland. At least we ain't Oakland. Let me slap my knee, bro. Y'all lost the Raiders. Y'all lost the A's, bro.
If you scale their season
It's looking
down
tragic
to
out
82
there.
games, that's equivalent to an NBA team winning about 25 games in a season. From the time this season started, the Pistons are on pace to winning 25 games, sometime around mid-season, in 2028. The Pistons are a horrifically bad team. In fact, they are so bad that comparing them to other teams this year, even across other sports, there is still clearly no competition for who the worst team is. In order to do that, we have to pull out the record books. Here are the 10 worst teams in NBA history according to win percentage. Now, it makes sense to use win percentage here over actual number of wins because every season does not have the same amount of games. For example, the Providence Steamrollers won just 6 games back in the Stone Age, but they only played 48 games the entire season. And then, of course, there are the 2012 Bobcats, who won just 7 games in a 66-game shortened season. I vividly remember this Bobcats team. They were so bad that the discourse around them that season wasn't about if they were just the worst team in the NBA. It was about if the Kentucky men's basketball team, a college team, could beat them in a game.
This might be a hot take. I don't care how bad the Pistons are this season. That Wildcats team or the Bobcats team, that is the worst team in basketball history. I know the numbers might say otherwise for the Pistons. I know. Here's my thing with that team, right? No one wanted them. No one asked for them. And when we got them, it was tragedy. Tragedy in Charlotte, bro. I know the crime rates went up in that city behind that team, bro. I don't even know how that correlates, but it happened, bro. That's how bad that basketball team was. That team, I vividly remember. And that's the craziest part, right? When the Orlando Magic came out, Shaq, Penny, the Heat came out. I forget who was on that team. I think Alonzo Mourning, was he on that team? I don't know, bro. I'm not going to pretend like I know Heat culture like that. But they had some great teams, bro. Pat Riley, the Bobcats, and then it just kept getting worse. It's never been good in Charlotte. Kemba Walker was doing his Dougie for like half a season. I think they got to the playoffs once. Bro, Charlotte is down bad. And of course, that's another team that I follow and like. I hate it here, bro.
Team was disgusting. And yet, somehow, the 2024 Pistons are losing more games than that Bobcats team did. Even in a shortened 66-game season, the Bobcats managed to win 7 games. This season, with a full 82-game schedule, the Pistons are on pace to winning just 5, which would essentially make them about twice as bad as the next worst team in NBA history. If we compare the Pistons to the worst teams in MLB history, they are still, by a massive margin, worse than any team that has ever played in Major League Baseball's 148-year history. The last time a team in Major League Baseball was even remotely close to as bad as this year's Pistons, the league sounded more like a branch of government than it did a professional sports league. The Colonels, the Nationals, the Senators, the Cowboys go back nearly 150 years, and still, you will not find a team as bad as this year's Pistons. But the worst team in MLB history, according to Team Record, were the Cleveland Spiders. Yes, this was a real team. And no, they were not as bad as this year's Pistons. Going 20-134 on the season, the Spiders had the worst winning percentage in league history of just 13%, which means they were still winning twice as often as Detroit is this season. Detroit's record at the moment
this is insane
to an MLB team winning just 10 games in an entire 162 game season.
You said 10 games.
But what about the NHL? Nearly 100 years of history. There's got to be one team that just couldn't win games, right? In 1975, the Washington Capitals were one of two teams added to the league in an expansion year. The team was literally built from scratch. Sort of a Frankenstein of a roster, loaded with free agents, young prospects, players who had never even played a minute of professional hockey in their careers, bits and pieces from other teams. By no means was this team expected to win many games, and they didn't. The Capitals finished the season with the worst record in NHL history, winning just 8 games. But back then, NHL games could end in a tie, essentially giving half wins in those scenarios. So those 8 wins got the Capitals to a win percentage of 13.1%, very similar to the worst teams throughout NBA and NFL history, which makes the Pistons still far worse than the worst team in NHL history.
On a technicality is crazy.
First season with new players, new ownership, and virtually no expectations. But that leaves us with the NFL. And as many of you know, there have been a handful of winless teams throughout the league's history. And 5 potential wins is still better than 0 wins, right? Wrong. I believe that a team on pace to winning 5 or 6 games in an 82-game NBA season is still worse than most, if not all, 0-win teams in NFL history. For example, take the most recent 0-win team in the NFL, the 2017 Browns, one of the 8 winless teams throughout the NFL's history. In that 2017 season, despite winning 0 games, the Browns had an average point differential of negative 11 points, meaning on average, they lost every single game that season by 11, which sounds bad because it is. And yet that still only ranks as the 109th worst team point differential in league history. They were losing, but they were still competing compared to some other bad teams throughout the NFL's history. In fact, there have been teams who were losing games on average by twice as much as the 0-win Browns. But at least those teams still managed to win a game or two. The Pistons, on the other hand, oddly enough, have a similar average point differential of negative 11.53, which is the 5th worst point differential in the history of the NBA. So they're not only losing damn near every game, they aren't even competing. And the 4 teams that were losing...
What was going on in Dallas? Hold on. That's crazy work. 15 points? Was that Dirk? Was that young Dirk?
More than the Pistons,
Damn.
still managed to win double-digit games, or at least were nearly on pace to in a full season. The Pistons aren't just losing games. They are getting blown out in nearly every game. So now that we know, at least at this moment, the Pistons are worse than any NBA team ever, they're worse than any MLB team ever, they are worse than every NHL team that has ever taken the ice, and they're probably worse, if not as bad as the worst NFL team.
Good defense, Cam.
I think it's safe to say that at the pace they're on, they could potentially finish this season as the worst.
What's up with the paper bags? I'm not getting the paper bags.
Major pro sports team North America has ever seen. So how exactly can a team be this bad? How does this happen? Well, first, this is a very young team, the 3rd youngest team in the NBA with an average age of just 23 years old. The majority of their minutes going to these young guys with hardly any NBA experience and no real opportunity or guidance to learn the ropes before being thrown into the lion's den every game. And part of this is for reason number 2, which is injuries. With 2 of their oldest players and their 2 highest paid players, Bojan Bogdanovic and Joe Harris, missing the majority of the season so far due to injuries. The lack of veteran leadership in this locker room and on the court has seemed to have made a real negative impact on this team's morale and their ability to fight through adversity. Most of these young guys have never been in a situation where they need to lead or even carry a bad team to victories. This takes time to learn, and right now, nearly every player on this roster is learning this all simultaneously. Whether they are even capable is a whole nother topic. This is why Alec Burks, a career role player, can oftentimes be found with the ball in his hands late in these games. He's a 12-year NBA vet who has logged enough minutes to at least have some idea of how to navigate close, competitive games. This team also can't close out any games. Even the worst teams can usually squeeze out some tough wins just by sheer luck, if nothing else. The Pistons have found themselves in clutch situations 14 times this season. That's games within 5 points with 5 minutes or less remaining in the fourth quarter. And in those clutch moments, the Pistons have shot, by far, a league low of 23.3% from the field while scoring 4.2 points. Less than half.
4 points, bro. That's 2K numbers. That is rec 2K numbers. Oh my God, bro.
The league average. This has led them to win just one of their 14 relatively winnable games. If they are just not horrific in the final minutes of these games, they win at least a few of these matchups. And it may sound like an oversimplification, but the Pistons just can't score or defend. Of the 11 players on their roster attempting at least one three-pointer a game, just 3 of them are shooting at a league average percentage. And one of those 3 players is their starting center. The other 8 players have a combined three-point percentage of just 29.2%, essentially making them one of, if not the worst shooting team since the 3-ball really took off a decade ago. Add that to the fact that this team is abysmal defensively, allowing over 120 points per game, while only scoring 109 points per game, and you have a recipe for disaster. They have no depth. Outside of Cade Cunningham and a downhill Jaden Ivey, they don't have anyone who can create their own shot. And to add fuel to the fire, they are leading the league in turnovers and fouls committed. So they can't even hold on to the ball, and they're giving up more free points to their opponents than any other team in the league. So they're not just bad at every aspect of
Did you see Larry Nance? Hold on. He's even saying, bro, these niggas are ass. Look at him in the back. Look at him in the back.
So they're not just bad at every aspect of the game. They are virtually the worst at every aspect of the game. And what makes this situation worse, if that's even possible, is that most bad teams throughout NBA history and even recent sports history are losing almost on purpose in an effort to tank. And you know when a team is tanking, not spending any money, loading up on picks, dumping off assets to make room for a rebuild. The Pistons are this bad, and they're actually trying to win. They hired Monty Williams this past offseason with, at the time, the highest salary of any coach in NBA history. They have 5 top 10 picks over the last 4 seasons on their roster in Asar Thompson, Jaden Ivey, number 1 overall pick in Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, and James Wiseman. This team is trying to win. They just can't. On his podcast last week, Bill Simmons made a great point about the whole situation that really put into perspective just how bad and even how unlucky this team has been so far this season. With the parity in the modern NBA and the depth and the three-point variance that can create double-digit point swings in just a matter of seconds, losing 28 games in a row is almost like flipping a coin 28 times and it landing on heads 28 times in a row. The Pistons' struggles this season aren't just bad, they're bordering statistical improbability at this point. It is truly fascinating to see. But
these are insane plays. Like, I know these are supposed to look like highlights. This is insane that this is going this badly for them. I have never seen some cheese like this, bro. Like, these plays don't even look good. They look like scrambles and weird situations where they're getting bailed out by their athleticism and ability to freestyle. This is not it, bro. I really do feel bad for them.
If they keep this up for the remainder of the season, the 2023-2024 Pistons won't just become the worst NBA team of all time, they will be the worst professional sports team in North American history.
Damn.
in history.
His face, bro. Oh, I should not be laughing at that. This nigga's down horrendous, bro. In all honesty, though, so here's my thing, right? Because from what I've been hearing, and at least from what I've seen with my own eyes, it feels like they're only giving certain guys ability to work. Like, I don't think Jaden Ivey's getting crazy minutes, right? At what point do you just lean into it and say, let these niggas freestyle, bro? Let them figure this out, whatever this is. Let them just shoot through this and gain some sort of skills and awareness on the court, and then we'll worry about winning later. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tweaking. But then there's also the thing of, this does look bad. Like, this is so bad where, like the Phoenix Suns, the FBI is going to have to get involved. We don't want that. Like, there's almost something disrespectful about the national government just being like, nigga, are you trolling, bro? What are y'all doing? Like, when the government has to get involved, there's just something that's so demoralizing about that. I hope that's not going down in Detroit, bro. The government don't need to be in Detroit looking for nothing, bro, because they'll find something, bro. I don't know. But, man, I don't know. So that's my thing with this team is, just like he was saying, there's way too many young guys. I feel like it's cool to have some young dudes on the team, but at some point, there does need to be someone that's like, hey, I know what I'm doing here. And not just like a Joe Ingles or a Bojan Bogdanovic. Those guys are cool, and I'm sure they even have some locker room presence, but it's like, I hate to be that guy straight up, but you need a nigga in there that's been there for a minute, bro. Where's Udonis Haslem? Find you a Udonis Haslem, just someone that'll whip him in shape. It's like when you see the videos of the dogs, like the mama dog, she's like, oh, 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 oh. When the little babies are going crazy, they're just like you need one of those, bro. Not a mom, though, but like a dad. Go in there, whip him in shape, and be like, what are y'all doing, bro? You are professional athletes. There's too many young guys. Because I feel like we were getting this same energy from the Rockets a couple of seasons back. Even I think last season, if I'm not tweaking. Like, literally, they benched John Wall. And he's like the perfect guy to go in there and be like, bro, this is not what you do, bro. This is not how you play basketball. He was even talking about that. He's like, y'all better not get used to this because this is not how the league works in any capacity. This is a one-off season. Y'all are not going to be moving like this forever. And I feel like there needs to be someone that will take even that line of thinking and that line of like dialogue a step further and be there to show them. Like, be the example they need in this locker room. That's just me, though. Like, someone who's respected in the league, put the time in, has an IQ for the game and loves being around. Like a Andre Iguodala type beat. I know that's not really the greatest comparison because the Warriors aren't developing how they should be. They're young guys, but I don't know, man. Like, there has to be some way that you can make this work, bro. Maybe I'm just tweaking. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy work. Shout out Detroit, I guess. Y'all got that. From the 313. 313. It's looking sad in the 313. It is what it is, man. Shit. If you guys enjoyed that video, man, like I said, we are streaming regularly here on this channel. I might even be streaming right now as you're watching this video, man. So feel free to come inside, say what's up, and join us for some good time in the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And hey, man, if you guys enjoy any of the content you have seen here on this channel, leave a like and subscribe. That is the best way you can help make this dream a reality as we keep moving here in the new year, man. I'm glad to keep making content for y'all, and I know y'all want to come see it, so just be a part of it, bro. There's no reason to act cool, bro. You can come. We were invited to the cookout, man. But hey, leave a like, subscribe, and check out the music, man. It's all right here. Come join us for the live streams. You know what time it is, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. You know what time it is. I don't even got to do it, do I? Do I got to do it? Let's get it!